Hello, good evening and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Joining myself, Robert, on the show this evening is the one and only AK and the legend, the Bridgeman. Evening, AK.
Good evening, Rob. Good evening, Bridgeman, the Techie team and everybody that's listening.
Evening, Bridge. How are we?
Oh, good evening, Robert and AK. Big thank you very much for having me on tonight. Looking forward to it. And of course, the Techie team in the background, they're the stars of the show. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans that are looking in, are listening in from all over the world, good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
Aye, good to have you both on the show tonight. Another Friday night filled with fun and a lot to talk about. AK, start with yourself, mate. I know you've not been on the show since Wednesday night. Just give me your quick thoughts, mate, on Wednesday night's performance and result, and a wee bit of the reaction and the aftermath of what transpired as well. A lot of debate out there, mate. What's your thoughts?
Of course there is. A lot of disgruntled Rangers fans, I think. But we're all kind of looking forward to the game, and because of the previous two games, it gave us a bit of hope and optimism that we could go to Fir Park and, put them in their place and come away with 3 points. Started the game well enough, but unfortunately it didn't materialise that game. We didn't deserve more than a draw. In fact, some could say we were lucky to get a draw. But we'll take a draw. We just need to dust ourselves down. There was a lot of things wrong to start with. And I seen the team sheet. I had my doubts. I was sceptical about the initial team because there was some players on that team sheet that hadn't proved to be good going away for him, shall we say, with Chermiti, with Kasama, guys of that ilk. Asgard had dropped out, certainly, but when you see them on that team sheet again and you've seen the new players that we brought in, I fully expected a lot of the new players to kind of start or certainly feature more than what they did, but it didn't materialise that way. And we get sucker punched right at the end of it. It's been one of the weeks where Hearts score late to gain 2 points for 1 point. So that gives them 3, and Celtic obviously score late in the similar situation where it deflates us when we lose a late goal with that. But I'm certainly not giving up on anything. We're still well in the hunt. This game on Sunday now becomes massive. We put pressure on ourselves because of that result. But there's still, 12 games to go, Rob? Well in the hunt. So looking forward to Sunday's game now, and let's see we see a positive change in their reaction from the team and the manager.
Aye, of course, mate. I think that kind of 24-hour period just shows you how quick things can twist and turn in the league, the way it has been this season, and I'm sure there'll be many twists and turns still to come, as you say, in the remaining games. Bridgeman, yourself, what was your take on the game itself, buddy?
Well, the result was very disappointing, and the manner in which we lost it was even more disappointing. I think we'd done enough getting a goal. Thought it was really brilliant, and I'm always of the mind that being a defender is when you get a goal, you don't give away one. You just hold on to it as long as you can, hold on to it, but don't create all your play based on that, But we were actually trying our best to get attacking, and then we ran up against the same old. We didn't know what to do when we got up there, and the players weren't playing the same game as us because they were defending us and hitting us and heading the ball past us and things like that. We became very poor in our own possession, and I thought that was endemic right throughout the team. And I'm sorry to say, I think AK is right. There are some parts of me says we were very lucky to hold on as long as we did, and because it could have been worse. Our defence is not the most positive and confident team defence-wise. So we did well. I thought we were unlucky in losing a late goal, But seriously, I think that we need to give that's a lesson for everybody. Please, waking up, just waking up. Stop letting these teams run at us. They're running at us from inside their own half, and we've got that many players in their half. We can't get empty back to defend it. But they showed that they're a very good team. Motherwell, very, very good team. I was impressed with a couple of their players. Indeed, I was.
AK, you said there was a lot of things wrong. I spoke about it on Wednesday night. The frustration for me was not so much the starting lineup, because I've got faith in Danny Rowe that he picks a team that he believes to take to the field that will win the game. But what he has shown in the games before now, during this time here, has been he's not scared to change it, and he's quite quick at changing it, bringing players on when you need to get fresh legs on, stretch the play wide. It was a frustration for me, the timing of the substitutions, and reacting to the game when it wasn't going. You could see Motherwell had total control of the game. It was played at their tempo, their pace, their press was doing well. We couldn't retain the ball. So that was a frustration for me, mate. That not so much the reluctant to change it, I don't want to use the word, but the kind of delay in reacting to what was happening on the pitch. That was the main frustration for me, taken from Wednesday night, mate.
It's understandable because at that stage during the game we're watching it and we're seeing it unfold, and there's things that it looked alien to us. It looked as if we were back, prior to Danny Rowe came into the club, because the way we played was certainly alien to a lot of the players, and it was the same players who let us down prior to him coming in the building. I listened to Albert last night on the show, mate. I don't know if you caught it. Certainly the listeners would have. And Albert said a lot of kind of thought-provoking points, shall we say. Was Danny Rowe dictated to with the physio team? Was he dictated to with certain players saying, I can only play certain minutes and close to red zones and all that sort of thing? I mean, it's all gobbledygook to us, but for the professional football club, your manager's meant to listen to your physios so that they're not going to lose big players for a certain period of time, and it would be silly to ignore that sort of advice sometimes. But sometimes old school mentality, you look the player in the eye. You've seen John Brown run through brick walls carrying an injury just so he can go out there and do his business for the team, because that's the club that he loves. The foreigners coming into our club don't have that same emotion or attachment to the club. So I'm wondering where some of the players just didn't fancy it. A cold, wet night at Motherwell, a rutted park, one of the games where you've got to get the sleeves rolled up. I'm questioning mentality a wee bit of some of the players in the team. Do we still have the players that we can rely on? Does Danny Rowe have the players that we can rely on, more importantly? And if he's getting dictated to weigh certain players or weigh the physio, that's ringing alarm bells for me, because we've been here before, Rod, under Clement, in a similar situation. We've put ourselves back in the running, and then because certain players don't fancy it, or they say, no, you can't play them, that's no good to a manager. He needs his strongest team out there. And for me, Danny Rowe, I think, wouldn't have picked that team, without the advice of others in between, because he touched on it after it when he said Naderi felt a wee knock. He's also mentioned Chukwani and Fernandez. I think all the guys would have been playing. Chukwani certainly did play, but Naderi had a bit part role. You didn't see Romans, you didn't see Skov Olsen. The new signings that were meant to come in and make a difference. Andrew Kavanagh backed them to say, here, there you go, there's 4 players that you think quality to improve the team to go in and win it. Well, that was a big game there against Motherwell. So attitude, mentality, I'm questioning a wee bit of that there now that I didn't have the thoughts in my mind prior to the Motherwell game. But hopefully he's got a full squad there now to pick for, and we go out there and try and play the strongest team now every game as possible, because it's a cup final now every game now, Robin. You can't afford to drop points hoping that other teams do you favours. That's not the mentality you need to get and go and win a title for me, mate.
Aye, mate, I get it. You've got to take care of your business first before you can, as you say, look and rely on others to try and bail you out at times, especially if you're having slip-ups. But Bridge, just before we hear from Daniel in his press conference today, I want to talk about an incident that obviously happened in the first half, which I think's kind of went a wee bit under the radar. And I'm not going to say this, Bridge, that it doesn't cover up the performance from us. It doesn't cover up the fact that we were poor. But it was a pivotal moment in the game when you look back on it in hindsight. In the first half, there's a coming together between two Motherwell players and Chermiti. He's sandwiched in between the two of them, and his foot gets stood on, Bridge, if you catch your mind back. VAR never looked at it as a potential penalty. What was your thoughts on it, mate? And then I'll go to AK, and then, as I said, we'll hear from Danny Rule as well.
I was screaming for a penalty, put it that way. The one player coming directly from behind him went in and virtually wrapped his leg around him, you know, and the other guy stood in his calf. To me, it's 100% penalty. 100% penalty. But I've said this before, and I don't want to get Rangers Radio a bad name, but seriously, guys, they're taking Alenius. They are taking Alenius. Hardly anything went our way. Hardly anything went our way from a refereeing perspective, and our captain was continuously up at them and up to the referee and saying, "What? Why?" There were so many snidey fouls, so many really creative fouls. Let's put it that way. Were going on. The barging, standing in front of him, kicking the ball away right in front of the referee, and the referee doing nothing. These kind of things were going on. In my opinion, there's a penalty there, and I don't think that was the only one, to be perfectly honest with you. But we never get seeing them because at VAR weren't involved, and I think that's a sin. You've got a full VAR there; they should be using it fully, and that's the way it should be done. Anything that happens that's controversial in any way, shape, or form, get it looked at. And even if you continue the games like you do there in England, just continue the game. But VAR gets a look at that and calls the referee, and that's what they should be doing. That was just never looked at. And a lot of the time it's because they booked this guy before for diving, that kind of thing, Oh, I've got him, I've done him before. No, not good enough. Not good enough at all. Every game's different. The players are supposed to be different, if you follow what I mean, because it's every game's different. But no, the referees are all the same. Always all the same. And we're shabbily treated.
AK, your thoughts on it, mate?
Agree with Bridgeman there. He's surmising. For me, if that happens in the middle of the park, it's a foul for us. For me, Chermiti gets impeded for the guy from behind. He doesn't attempt to play the ball. He just impedes Chermiti. Chermiti falls, not allowed to play the ball. It's in the box. It's a foul. It should be a penalty. But aye, it's another one. You don't go greeting now that the game's done. But if you take it in isolation, then I thought it was 100% penalty. I didn't think it was a debate about it. But VAR was meant to be there for clear and obvious errors. Well, that's a clear and obvious error for me, for the referee just to wave that on. And the fact that VAR never even looked at it is negligent of them doing their job. But we've been there before with this mob. But it's done now, pal. But that's my thoughts on it.
Aye, as you say, mate, it's done. We can't change it. But obviously at the time, you don't realise the significance of what it could have been during the game itself until you really look back. Obviously, the result helps you do that and look at it. But the way I seen it, mate, was if you catch your mind back to when Fernandes had a goal chopped off at Pittodrie, it was given as a foul, and the words they said was impeded the player to prevent him from playing the ball. Well, similar circumstances, AK.
That's when the header for the edge of the box and the keeper came out and wasn't getting there. That one you're talking about, eh? That right, aye.
Sorry, mate. Say that again there.
Was that the one Fernandes scores for the edge of the box, the header, and the keeper comes out and makes a hash?
Yes.
Aye. Well, I suppose they claim that the keeper was impeded for playing the ball. Well, Chermiti was impeded for playing the ball. So Aberdeen get the foul there. So Rangers should get the foul penalty kick. And the fact that Keith Hackett has come out, the Rangers hater, every video that this old guy appears on, it's always a decision against Rangers, and he's crying wolf a bit. Well, he's actually in Rangers' favour, surprisingly, when I seen it. But the fact that he's even saying it should have been a penalty, well, there you go.
Aye, it's another one that gets away. Okay, we'll put that in the book. Right, if you don't mind, lads, get yourself on mute and we'll hear what our manager, Danny Rowe, has had to say today at today's press conference.
Danny, we'll just start with team news. How's everyone looking ahead of the weekend?
Yeah, what I learned the last time was speak not too early about who's available. Still 48 hours. I can give you another update today.
Nothing today, nothing you can tell us? Okay. Cards close to your chest. How big a game is this on Sunday? They seem to just be getting bigger every week at the moment.
Yeah, the next big game. I think we have just big games since I'm here. It's always about a must win. We want to win. We know what it means. We have a big opportunity to close the gap from 13 points to 2 points, and this is a great opportunity.
Do you feel that games like this are a must win, Danny, when you're taking league leaders at your place?
Yeah, generally it's about consistency, to take consistently 3 points in a row again and again and again, and I think in the last couple of weeks we did really well on this. We took a lot of points. That's the reason why we closed the gap. I think it's for us a big game to take the 3 points, but I think it's also for Hearts. If you were 13 points ahead of a club and you drop maybe to 2 points, maybe there's also pressure on them. I think this is for both teams. Both teams knows what's about in this game, and we will prepare, we will invest, we will try, we will bring effort in, and then hopefully we take the 3 points.
Just reflecting on Wednesday night at Motherwell, are you still getting used to the swings in emotion that come with being Rangers manager, when you drop points and fans react, and then you win games and you're the best thing ever? I mean, is that still getting some used to taking you?
Yeah, you have to. 24 hours you get a trophy for the best manager of the month. 24 hours later you're not good enough. This is football. It's about, I think I said it many times, always about the next game. It's about results. Go again. And even in this situation, I go forward, I lead my group. Important is that we take the right consequence from this game, what we have to improve. And football sometimes is, it's emotional. We take this match day, we conceded late, the 2 other clubs scored late. It could be a completely different story today, and you ask me different questions, but this is football. I try to be in balance after wins, but also after draws. We speak not about defeats at the moment. We spoke about a draw. We were not happy, especially then when you conceded too late, this equalised.
When we spoke to you on Tuesday, you were asking the players to show courage, to show bravery. Some of the criticism that's been aimed at you from some supporters from Wednesday night was that when the chance was on to be bold with maybe your team selection before the game or with your substitutions, you maybe went the other way. Do you think that's fair? Is that a fair criticism?
Yeah, I think as a manager you always take the responsibility. I make my decision before the game. There was an idea behind, and then after, the decision making is influenced from the result. If you play a draw, then you have to ask maybe such criticized questions, but this is normal. I think I had some reasons. I said this, that was the reason why I can't tell you today about the injuries or not such much in 24 hours between my press conference and the game. Some things changed, I got some new information and I have to make new decisions. Finally, I cannot risk some players when they are maybe not 100% available. And finally it's about results. If you take the right result, then you have always more arguments. If you play a draw, then you have to be ready for the other questions.
You mentioned there could be more pressure on Hearts, considering where Rangers were at one point in the season. To get that win psychologically on Sunday, how big will it be, not only for you guys pushing forward, but to impact a title rival?
Yeah, I think generally I said both teams have pressure on this game. We can close to 2 points, that would be massive. I think every game now it's crucial. Both or all the teams now know every result influence a lot, but every result is also not the final decision making. I think this is also very important to understand. We go in the home game. I think we have a good run at home with a lot of good results, a lot of clean sheets. But we face a strong side. Will be a different challenge to Wednesday. We have also to understand this game, and for this I try, and I want to pick the best team for this game again.
What's the biggest thing the players have to learn from Wednesday night?
Yeah, I think big respect also to Motherwell. They played in this game really well. I think this is also sometimes what we honor. That as an opponent they did well. They played with high intensity in all the phases of the game. We were not able to match them in some phases of the game. But when I look a little bit to our opportunities during the game, even you felt they control the game, but we have big chances to score the 2-0 and 3-0. Yeah, it was I think after 35 minutes a big chance. I can't remember that Motherwell had a 1-against-1 to the goalkeeper in front of the goal. But we had this moment, but general it feels not what we want. We want to have more control in all the phases, and in this game we couldn't. And now we move forward to a next opponent. They have also big weapons, transition moments, they are strong, set play, they are strong, they are well organized. And we have to find, again, solutions for this opponent.
You speak about control there, Danny, maybe the control that Motherwell had on the ball compared to your team. Do you need a pre-season to implement that as you'd like?
I'm not looking for excuses, but they're doing well. I'm not really sure how much games they had this season so far together. We play game by game. I think before the game, I spoke a little bit about if it's an advantage to have 10 games rest or not. You never know. I think what I always also I give them respect when they play well. And for us it's about to improve. I think we spoke before Motherwell how we improved in the final third. We did in the games, we scored more goals, what we want to create more chances. And now we have also to improve again, and this is about a process. But finally, and this is the key message, it's about results, and especially in the second half of the season, every result is crucial.
How have you found the emotion of the players? Because you've had, the draw against Falkirk, the defeat against Hearts, you went on a great run after that. Did you feel the belief had been hit at all? Is it still very much there after the result?
Yeah, let's speak about our emotional after a win in Aberdeen, after a win in Celtic, after 8 wins in a row. I think it makes more sense to speak about the negative energy.
Danny, how you touched on the chance that Youssef had, the one-on-one. How do you go about getting the best? We saw what he could do, obviously, at Celtic Park in that Old Firm game. How do you go about getting him scoring on a consistent
You give him again belief and trust. I think you can imagine for Youssef, it is tough for him. Not about the reaction or something like this. It's more about how he feels. He knows exactly he wants to score. And even in this game, for me, he runs a lot for the group. He comes in good situation. I wish him that in the next time he takes the extra touch and then he look for the corner and he make this. But it comes, I totally believe, because I see a lot of things in him. It's again the small moments, and it comes not just when you think, should I? No, it's about hard working again, try the best, come again in the situations, and then we celebrate him versus Celtic when he scored. He turned the game with fantastic goals, and he can do this again, I believe, totally.
Do you think it's fair on him? There's always scrutiny because of the transfer fee that the club paid for him. Do you think, that's kind of hanging over him a wee bit?
Fair or not, I think for us it's about have a good performance on the pitch. General, and this is absolutely my part. I give my players a good mirror. And after one game or two games, for me, it's not always black or white. It's always about to manage my players, give them this trust again and again, work with them, give them solutions, bring them to the next level. And in the last weeks, we brought a lot of players in the next level, and this is important.
Danny, after Motherwell, you suggested that you might have been okay with a point before that game. Do you understand maybe why some fans are a bit unsure about that, given every win is vital in the title race for every team?
Yeah, to bring it to the point, and I think maybe I was not clear enough after the game. My message should be more when I look to the game back after 90 minutes. Then we want to win, but in this game we were not able to get a win, and then you have to accept in this game the draw. But it's not that it feels well or good. No, we go in always a game, and it was, I think, if you listen to my press conference before, about the winning mindset. Since I'm here, I speak always about winning games. But I felt after the game, when I take the respect to the opponent, how they played and how we played, then in this case, the draw happens.
Rangers have found it tough against Hearts this season. They've been finding ways to win, even if they've not been playing so well over the past month or so. What are you expecting from Derek McInnes and Hearts this weekend?
It's a tough opponent. I think there's a reason why they are top of the league since match day 3 or something like this. I think since a very long time they find always a way to win games, but we found also a way to come back. And when I look, I'm not sure, to our form table, then we are 8 points ahead of them, and I think it showed that we can win more games than then, and they dropped also points. And for us it's about, again, take the opportunity, have the 2 points in our mindset and not the 8 points.
How much did the game at Tynecastle against Hearts frustrate you a couple of months back?
Yeah, the story of the game was difficult. We started really well, the stadium was really quiet, we controlled the game, we scored, and then we had 4 minutes, these 2 conceded goals after set play, and then they got the momentum. In the second half we tried, they were more compact, more deeper block, they wait for the transition moments, and this is then tough to break because they're well organized. A game has always his own story. I think you see this nearly every day in the football business. There's always about storytelling in a game, but we go and we try and we want to win this game.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Thanks for that, Fox, and apologies to those who are just tuning in on Facebook. We did have a technical issue getting the stream live tonight for the start of the show, so apologies for the delay. You've been joined by myself tonight, Robert, along with AK and Bridgeman, who have just gave their summary of Wednesday night's game and Danny Rose presser there, so you've not missed too much. A wee bit of debate about the game on Wednesday, but we'll come in. AK, again, Danny Rule, first thing you can clearly see he's learned from Wednesday, as you touched on earlier in the show, mate, is asked about team news. Not a word, because things can change.
Aye, which makes it a wee bit suspicious, Rob, or he's keeping his cards close to his chest. He doesn't want to give anything away as far as the lineup's concerned. But listen, let's hope that it's kept in-house, whatever is going on, and he's got a full squad of players, well, reasonably full squad of players to pick for it. Obviously, Barron and I think Cornelius is still the kind of injury doubts, but if he's got a full squad of players to pick from, I'm expecting to see some changes and a far better, motivation, attitude, application, everything that goes with being a Rangers player. Massive game on Sunday. Bridgeman says it every week, but this really is huge now. It's got to the stage where it is a must-win now. Psychologically, as well as gaining 3 points on Hearts, because if Hearts come to Ibrox and beat us again, that's 3 times they've beat us this year. If you're getting beat 3 times with the top of the table team, I don't think you're going to win a league. So it's putting a marker down on them and claws back into the title chase, mate.
Well, it certainly is, mate. It's a big game for both clubs, Bridge. And Daniel mentioned it there, mate, that it's not just pressure on Rangers, it's the pressure on Hearts as well, because obviously we've got the opportunity to close the gap to 2 points when Daniel came in, it's 13 points. So the pressure's on Hearts as well, because you've got a team potentially right on your tail when you had such a big gap as well.
Yeah, like, we're not under any illusions. Most Rangers fans who watch their team can see the pressure that all these players are under. The whole team's under this pressure, including the manager and all the backroom staff. It's massive pressure because we, as Rangers fans, we want to either make a dent against our opposition in the league, or indeed win the league, which we all want. And we've had a couple of opportunities to do it, and we've shall we say, disappointed ourselves and been unable to get the points out of the game that we thought we should have had. We'll get coming Sunday. What can I say? You're going to be playing the team at the top of the league, and they're not at the top of the league for nothing. They deserve to be top of the league. They've played some tremendous football, scored a lot of goals, and a lot more goals than we've scored, and we haven't been able to hold a candle to them up to now, up to this game coming up. We'll need to see how we do, and we really need to get the players that don't fold under pressure as the players you want in your team. We really need players that don't fold under pressure, because Rangers are a high pressure club, and we play football with high pressure, and all of our results are high pressure, because we've got a lot of officials that don't like us and they won't give us anything. So we need to fight for everything, and we haven't been doing it. So we need to do that this Sunday especially. It's going to be an enormous occasion, huge occasion for Scottish football, a massive occasion for the Rangers, and a bigger occasion for Hearts, because they've got to stop us, and we need to go out there and beat them. And no care what they say, get out there and start attacking by the very start, and get your pace on the game all the way right to the 90th minute and keep it going. And I don't mean that in the same sense as we like to do that and keep things going. We need to keep the pressure up, and let's live with the pressure and enjoy it, because sometimes that's what makes a great team and a great game of football.
AK Bridge says that Hearts need to stop us. Do we need to stop them?
Well, I don't think it's a matter of stopping each other. It's just who wants it more. The motivation's there for both teams. You know, Hearts are 5 points clear at the top of the league. They can stretch the gap to 8 points on us, and it's another game choked off the remainder of what we've got left. It was 11 games left after that, so it does become very difficult. I mean, when Danny Rowe came in, you know, 13 points we were behind him, and over 17 games he clawed it back 10 points in the 17 games. So if you're going 8 points behind with only 11 games to go, I think the chances of you becoming champions at the end of the season becomes even less. As I said, I think it's psychological more than anything, that we're here, we're challenging, and if you're a serious challenger, then you should be winning at home against the guys, the team who were meant to be hunting down, in Danny Rowe's words there. But credit to Hearts, though, Rob. That's 20 weeks that they've been top of the table. You know, so all them that's dismissed Hearts, falling off the edge of a cliff and they'll no last the pace. 20 weeks they've been at the top. So they've been a team that everybody's, you know, trying to chase and draw in. So there's pressure on both teams. Hearts don't want to lose. They could afford a draw. certainly. But Rangers must win, I think, if we've got to get any chance of winning it. And that's in the after effect of Motherwell. So I can understand the frustrations of the Rangers supporters dropping points here, dropping points at Easter Road. But I'll remind them, see, before Danny Rowe came in, there was a lot of white flags going up with all Rangers supporters after just a few weeks of the season. Russell Martin took charge of the team for 7 games, and then Stevie Smith for the 8th one. In the 8 games, we had dropped 15 points. Danny Rowe's come in there and he's dropped 11 points out of the 18 games. You know, what is it, 13 wins, 4 draws and 1 loss. That's a pretty good record for Danny Rowe. A wee bit similar to Clermont when they came in after Beale. But if we do come up short this season, it's no Danny Rowe's fault. The damage was done with Russell Martin. So, but let's see where we are. We're well in this. On Sunday, we're hoping to be right on their tails again. And who knows? Kilmarnock could do us a wee favour there too. That's not a gimme for Celtic going down there, the way they're playing and the way Kilmarnock are fighting for their lives now, you know.
Aye, as I said, mate, there's still going to be many twists and turns between now and the end of the season. Obviously, I think the split, for the first time, Bridge, the split might become a wee bit exciting because when you look at the top 6 currently, they've all taken points off each other. So there is still a long way to go, as AK says, but when you start ticking off these games, it does get down to the nitty-gritty where it is a vital win you need to get. They become crucial because the games start to run out. But arguably, Bridge, have we done the hard part in getting back into a title race, or is it now the hardest part to go and get the title?
Well, you've just renewed some players. So against Motherwell, we're basically the similar team to what we've had for a lot of the season, and unfortunately, it proved again that the ones that we think are supposed to be going to be good aren't being good, and the ones that we've just brought in aren't getting a chance to do anything. I'm not saying all of them, but there's a few of them there that just weren't there, Romans and people like that. And I don't know whether we're going to be niggles or something like that. Hopefully they're all fit for this weekend. I don't know if I heard Danny Rowe saying that. I don't know if I was asked that question. If everybody's fit and ready to rock and roll, I'd like to think it is. And let's see.
It was asked. It was asked, but it was asked. But
was it positive? Was it a positive answer?
He never gave an answer because what
okay.
happened on, he done the press conference on Tuesday, said that everybody was available, bar Max Aarons, and then following this press conference, there was new information about some players' availability, where it's down to slight knocks, sports science, but ultimately what he's basically saying is he had to change his decisions before the game, so that's why he never gave any team news today, because anything can change between now and kick-off.
Yeah, but no hints. No hints.
Nope, not a thing.
No,
Cards
okay,
close to his chest. I think that's a learning curve for him, Bridge.
But you see, look, can I just say to you, and this is only my opinion, and all the Rangers fans out there that are listening will be saying he's talking a lot of crap again. But seriously, we don't have the defence that can stand up to the Motherwells, the pressure that Motherwell can put on us, because some of our defenders aren't there. They're not playing for the start, and we should all the good players should be playing from the start. If they're on the bench, then if they're one of our better players, they should be playing from the start. And we need to get that into our minds. We are at a point in the league where you can't afford to just play somebody and then just drop them for a half a game and bring one of your better players back on. You start to lose momentum. Things can happen. We need our best players on the park, and that could have made a big change because you could have daunted Motherwell's enthusiasm, let's say, because they were good. They're very, very good football side, but we looked as if we never won a second ball, and never even a first ball. We never won second ball, and that's crucial in the midfield. You've got to be able to win and pick up your ball, and pick up the ball and go with it. And that's what we're good at doing. You get what I mean?
Which side of the boys you go?
Exactly. But normally we're quite good at that, and we can then penetrate through their midfield and run on. And that gives the likes of Chermiti a chance, because you can maybe slip the ball through to him and away he'll go. and he's quite good, quite fleet of foot, and he can have a shot at goal. But when you're stuck and you're not winning this with the ball, then the centre forward looks as if he's on the park, but he's actually never going to kick a ball, And we need to be able to do that. So please, manager, put our strongest team on if you get the chance. Put them on, because we're going to need them. This Hearts team will murder us if we play. Some of the things that we saw in the other night there, the Hearts would have punished that, literally punished us for it, based on what I see, I thought Motherwell, a tremendous team, particularly in the midfield, superb, created possession, created great crosses into our box, very dangerous, with the ones we hate, and we haven't got our centre halves there that can head the ball. I only saw your centre half heading one ball. We never won a header again, and I think that's criminal.
I think, in fairness to Motherwell, Bridge, that they weren't playing a lot of high balls. They were using the ball quite well on the deck, moving it fast side to side, getting forward. And I think that's the thing, AK. Without creating a lot of chances, Motherwell just controlled the game. They outmuscled us in midfield, they outran us, but they simply controlled the game, as I said earlier, at their tempo, and we allowed them to do it. And I think that's the frustration as well in terms of performance. But I'll cut across you, mate. I think we've been joined this evening by Josh. How you doing, pal?
Good evening. How are you doing? You all right?
Hey, Josh.
I'm good, mate. How's yourself?
Good evening, Josh.
Not too bad. Not too bad. Still recovering for this cancer operation thing in my stomach. What I told you the last time I was on. Remember you and Ox were on.
You do, mate. Yep.
So I'm still having good days and bad days, mate. I'm getting there slowly but surely.
Well, fingers crossed, buddy, you get into the good health. And as Ox said in the night, mate, thoughts are with you, pal. But again, thanks for phoning in. What's on your mind, bud?
I just think the manager just has to stop this experimenting rubbish. I think, in my opinion, he played the wrong team against Hibs, and we were lucky to not get annihilated with them. And then in Motherwell, we should have seen the game out. There's no excuses for that. 10 men, we should have seen it out. Shut up shop, and take the 3 points and go down the motorway, and we'd be a lot closer to Hearts than now. We're dropping silly points. Really, we really are. And I think we'll beat Hearts. Hearts' bottle is crashed, I think. That St Mirren played them off the park and beat them. Hibs should have beat them in their derby. I think we'll beat them, but it's up to the manager to play the best team and the best players in the right position, and any of this experiment stuff, because this is the biggest game of the season for me, out with the quarterfinals of the cup. The cup will take care of itself, but this is your bread and butter. We've no won a league title for over a decade, and it's unacceptable for a club our size, and this is the best chance, because we've got he's a good manager, came with a great pedigree, took us for languishing at the bottom of the league, and now we've got a chance that none of us, not one of us, would have expected us to be in this position. And I just hope he plays the right team and gets the job done, and then we move on for this, and then we're closer to Hearts. Because if we get beat, I can't see us pulling that back, really, because Hearts are there on merit, because they'll beat us home and away, they'll beat Celtic home and away, and they'll beat everybody, but especially us. Well, who's the last team? It's a question. Who's the last team to beat Rangers and Celtic home and away in a season? It was Aberdeen in the 90s, I think, when they won the league. Somebody might correct me if I'm wrong. I apologise if I'm wrong, but I think that's the last time.
Aye, listen, mate, you're right in what you're saying. It is I know Bridge says it every week, the biggest game of the season, but arguably this one is, Bridge, because, as we say, there's games running out. We have dropped points where we were expecting to be closer to Hearts than what we are. And Josh touches on play the strongest team. I know you're a big fan of when you can play the strongest team. Does it Sunday now become the risk and reward if a player who would be in your strongest 11 does have a small niggle, do you risk playing him for the 3 points? Is it 3 points more pivotal than the player being available for the remaining weeks?
For me, play him. If he's fit enough to go on the bench, he's fit enough to play. If he's not fit enough to be on the bench, then he shouldn't be playing. It's as simple as that. For me, we don't want to weaken the club and the squad to any degree, but we really need to have the fittest and best team that we can get. And the two, it's mixable, but no, I know for me, I don't want to bring someone on who is carrying a slight niggle, because you're going to get crocked in the first 10 minutes. You're not warmed up or nothing. It takes 15, 20 minutes to warm right up. So it's easy to be injured. And I don't want to be holding our better players off for substitution just because, they were holding back. And no for me. Best team on the park at all times. Best team on the park at all times. And you can make substitutions as we go along. That's the way I look at it. That's my philosophy. Play your best team at all times.
AK, same question to yourself, mate. If somebody who would be in your strongest 11 does have a niggle, would you play him to get the 3 points and take that risk for the reward?
It's just really down to what sort of niggle and would it worsen whether you're going to miss him for a length of time. But it's really down to the player. As I mentioned before, Bomber Brown or that would go out there on the verge of snapping his Achilles, just so as he can do the job for the team to win Rangers a league, which he proved today, and he walked off the park a cripple at the end. He'll probably suffer now in later life because of it, but that was a mentality Bomber. He would run through a brick wall for Walter Smith and for our jersey representing us out on the park, and that's the mentality that you want to instill in the players. But being realistic, Rob, you don't have that mentality with all the foreigners coming into our league and playing for our club. They just see pound signs, and trying to get through the week as best they can, probably doing as less as they can, as is proved with Matondo for a few years. There's talent there with that boy, but his attitude is stinking, and he's not the first and he'll not be the last. Said before, Gareth Bale world at his feet, but because he's getting paid all that money with Real Madrid and winning European Cups and that, he's happy to retire. A young man, a multi-millionaire. This is football now. This is mercenaries that you've got bringing into your club, but that's down to your recruitment, and we've been stung with that for too long. I think Danny Rowe, I don't know if you heard me earlier, Josh, but I don't think that was the team that he wanted to start. I think he was dictated to start that team with the physios, with the medics, and with some of the players themselves. For me, Sterling would have started, but if you're going to start Sterling, is he going to be available this week? How many minutes can you play him? How many minutes could you play Skov Olsen? How many minutes could you play this year and that? This is what you're coming to. This is how stupid it is. Years ago, a lot of us have still got the old school mentality where you had like a 14, 15 man pool of players and they all played 50, 60. It just doesn't work now. It's not practical with the amount of games that you're having to play in Europe and internationals and things like that. So you're treating them all with kid gloves. So they get a kid glove mentality, a spoiled brat mentality if you want. And it's no good for a manager when a player's kind of telling you that. So for me, this Sunday, he must win that. So for me, he needs to play his new signings. They were all brought in. Andrew Kavanagh has backed his manager there to go out and win a league. He needs the players to be playing on Sunday there now. It's a must win against Hearts. Every game now is basically must win, or we're limited, shall we say, to end up being league champions. So strongest team all the time, Rob.
Can I also add something? What we've got to realise is we saw it the other night against Motherwell. They're a tough team, really good footballers, but still tough. And they're going in for every challenge. Sometimes it's a bit late and you get caught and things like that, but sometimes that's part of the game. But as long as it's handled by the referee and the yellow card comes out or whatever. But sometimes it doesn't happen. particularly against the Rangers here. And we, against Hearts, we know you're going to be a really, really heavy, hard tackles coming in, because that's what they're like. They're top of the league. Don't expect them to lie down. They're not going to lie down. They're going to volley our players out the pitch if they can. You know what I mean? They're in there, and you'll notice when any team we play, we put high balls in, and what happens? The centre half will head the ball away. Put high balls into our team, the centre half can't get the ball. This is how crazy, and it's all about fighting fit. That's what it's about: being fit and being fighting fit, and fight for your team, fight for the ball every single time. And Hearts will win 90% of the balls in the air and close to their area. That's what they'll do. Every single time they'll win the ball by the head. We see it with every other team that plays against us, and we need to be able to do the same thing. Be confident, go out there, win the ball, and don't be feared, because somebody is going to come in and barge you and batter into you. That's what they'll do. We need to watch out for it. Be tough.
You're right, Bridge. You've got to remember the physical aspect of the game as well, but you've got to go and win the game. And if there is officials having to make decisions, you want it to be not spoken about. You want it to be handled in the right way. But at the end of the day, mate, we've still got to go and perform well enough to get a result and not have the referee influence to be used as an excuse at any point. Josh, when you come, buddy?
For me, with a slight injury question that you done, brother, they're paid to play football. So if there's a chance, 90% chance of them playing and being fit, even with a slight niggle, I'd get them on the park. I'd get them on the park because that's what they're paid for. But what distresses me is we've got a lack of Scottish mentality that knows what the badge is for. I watched a game with us in Europe, and not one Scottish player was in the park in the first 11. That is unheard of for Rangers Football Club. Used to be Durant, McCoy, and all that. Used to Barry Ferguson and all these guys used to be Scottish, mere Scottish players. But as the boy says before me, we're buying foreign content, and when they go 1 or 2-1 down, the mentality drops and they think, oh, next week we'll make it up and we'll win next week. No consideration of this is a league where you need to win every single game or your head's on the block, the chopping block. And this is where we are right now. We've drew too many games that we've not seen out. I think we've drew about 9 games. So that's 18 points. We could have been miles clear in the league now if we won these games and never drew them. And that's the fact of it. That's just it, unfortunately. But Sunday's game, if I seen a player and I was the manager and I thought he could do a job for the first 60 minutes, because we need to be at them for minute one. Minute one, the crowd will be on the side. It'll be raucous. It's the best stadium for atmosphere in the world. Just get them on and get them playing. That's all I want. And get the 3 points and close that gap. Because we've got a chance if we win. But I'm doubting myself if we don't win. It's another chance missed, especially at home.
That's it, mate. It is a draw is obviously Motherwell and Easter Road that you look at, and that's when you get frustration. At home, obviously you want to be dominant and putting on the show for the fans, but ultimately, Josh, you've got to go and get the 3 points. Daniel mentioned it. Hearts have grinded out results to get points. The derby on Tuesday night was a prime example, but we've also shown we can grind out results, and that lies the frustration that we didn't get for Easter Road, Motherwell. We couldn't find a winner, and that's where we can drop points. But as AK said at the start of the show, mate, I don't know if you heard, Russell Martin had drew 6 games, and before Daniel came in, Daniel's drew 3, I think it is, or 5 Russell Martin, had, and Daniel's drew 4. So they dropped points from draws, but the damage was done under Russell Martin.
Russell Martin should never have been appointed the Rangers manager. He's a clown. He's an absolute clown. Absolute pathetic guy of a man, coming out and saying utter rubbish every single game. No wonder the fans went for him. I don't blame the fans for blocking him in the buses and all that kind of stuff, because he should never ever have been appointed as manager. Just a pity Danny Rowe never got appointed for what the guy's done right now. It's miraculous. Got his face being nowhere, not even a chance of winning the league. Now, Sunday, if we win, we've got every chance of winning. But we just have to. Sorry, what was you going to say?
I was going to ask, mate, would you be confident going forward into next season that if we don't get the title this season, that you've seen enough of Danny Rule to believe that if it's not this season, it will be next season, given a full pre-season and a full season as well?
I think Danny Rowe's a good manager. He's came with a great pedigree. He's played with the German national team. They get to World Cup finals, World Cup semi-finals, quarter-finals. They're always at last stages at every European tournament and world tournaments. He's played in the best teams in the Bundesliga. It's one of the best, if not the best, when it comes to the crunch, because the Germans always get the job done at tournaments. So he's got the pedigree. Yes, I would. I don't want Danny Rowe to go. I don't want him sacked. I think he's a breath of fresh air, and he's got his playing. He's done miraculous, and the ones that do want him sacked need to go and see a psychologist, because we could still be with Russell Martin now. We've been the bottom six because they never played. We're getting played after part. Danny Rowe comes in, and everything changed. He's got it structured. All right, he's made a couple of mistakes, but we're all human. It's allowed. But we can still win the league if we beat Hearts on Sunday. And that is the fantastic managerial skills of he's a young man as well. I want him to stay. I'd have him staying for the next 5 years, because he'll progresses. Because you can see in the football, he progresses. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right, mate. I agree. As I said, I think for me, personally, for myself, my point of view, if it's not this season, I've got full belief that Danny Rule's showed more than enough to mount a serious challenge next season and even be the hunted rather than the hunters. But listen, Josh, thanks very much for your call, mate, as always. And as always, mate,
no worries.
Take care of yourself, mate. Some good points
tonight. Take care, all right, boys.
Yourself. Cheers for your time, mate.
Here's hoping we get a good result. Take care, boys. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers, Josh.
Right, boys, it's that time. You always look forward to it. Get yourselves a mute. We're going to have a tune.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Cheers again for that, Fox. I'm sure everybody out there loved that one. AK, team selection was obviously a big thing on Wednesday night, and obviously, as you've alluded to, there's a lot of influence in that decision. Come Sunday, what's your team? How are you setting it up? Or how would you set it up?
Right, batten down the hatches. I'm going for it. I'm playing the strongest team. Well, what I think is the strongest team. Obviously, others will have different opinions, and if you do, come in and tell us your team. But anyway, my team for Sunday would be Jack Butland in goals, Sterling, Suter, Fernandes, Romans, Chukwani, Raskin, Moore, Ant-Man, Scov Olsen, Naderi. And I would be playing would that be what, a 4-2-3-1? I'd be playing Moore as the kind of number 8 with Chukwani and Raskin, the kind of sitters, the diggers in midfield. Ant-Man and Scov Olsen as your inverted wingers. You've got Romans obviously can overlap, link up with Ant-Man again, and hopefully Big Naderi bangs in the goals to win us the game. I just think that's, for me, my opinion, I think that's your strongest team going forward, and I'll be playing as much of that as the season goes on. But obviously, you've still got players on the bench here that can come on and change the game. Diamandi for me would drop out. Tavernier still has a role to play. Bajrami, Miovski, and even Chermiti as well. But I wouldn't be relying too much on Chermiti's goals, no, after the misses he had the other night. But it's still a squad game, and we've still got young Barron to come back as a digger in that midfield as well, which will be good. So, but that's just my thoughts, mate. Your own team, your own thoughts?
Slightly different, mate. Slightly different. Butland in goal, obviously for myself as well. Back four is the same. Sterling, Suter, Fernandes and Romans. I'd go a 3 of Chukwani, Raskin and Diamandi. I would have Mikey Moore as a kind of 10 behind Chermiti and Nadiri. 4-3-1-2. And I know that leaves out Scov Olsen, mate, but if we've only got one kind of winger on the right-hand side, all our play comes down the left when we use wingers, and we've not really got an out-and-out winger that will do the job as a winger on the left. You could maybe try Scov Olsen in the 10 and have Moore kind of off Nadiri up front and put Chermiti to the bench. But 4-3-1-2 for me, mate, I don't think we use the wings effectively enough, and that will give licence to Romans to get forward. Don't expect much from Sterling, but Mike and Moore can free roam across that middle of the park.
I think we're similar in thoughts with Mikey Moore. I like to see Mikey Moore central. I've heard Albert speaking about it yourself, Southside. I think we're all the same opinion that he offers much more coming centrally. But even off the left against Kilmarnock, there was a kind of overload in the left with Ant-Man and Romans. But Mikey Moore was the guy that was cutting inside to get shots away in his right foot. I think the boy's two-footed. I think he can go both ways. But I just like to see him busy up the other end of the park, you know. I think the boy's got a lot of talent for 18-year-old. I think he has a special talent, but I think we've got to utilise him better than sticking him out on a wing. For me, the only thing I would say is right wing. We've got nothing there at all. What Sterling doesn't offer, what Tavernier offers, say 5-10 years ago, Tavernier. He doesn't offer the same output now because obviously his legs, but neither does Max Aarons. So we've got an issue there. I just think Ant-Man, Scov Olsen, you know, Moore, Naderi, I think they could cause all sorts of problems. Chukwueze looks solid in the midfield. I think he's disciplined as well, far more disciplined than Diamondi and Raskin. And we've just got to play as a team, but go at teams. I think we're far better as a team going at a team rather than sitting in and trying to be clever. I thought there was if I'm going to criticise Danny Rolford during the week, I thought he tried to be too clever sometimes with subs and how he set up, and it just looked negative, and we encouraged Motherwell to press on us and we get sucker punched at the end of the game. See, when you're on top and you've got to take a man advantage, Rob, I think you should be going to kill teams off, and I think we should be going to kill Hearts off as soon as possible, because they're not playing well either. Listen, what I would give them credit for is they're going to the death and they're trying to win a game at the death. But Hibs had big moments at Tynecastle where they could have scored. They obviously came unstuck against St Mirren, didn't play well. They've not really played well for a few weeks now, because obviously missing Shankland and Devlin has been massive misses for them. But to be fair to them, they've had other players to step up with Braga and Magnuson. Stuart Finlay's chipped in with goals, and the boy Kazaridis has been a really good signing for them too. So it's one of them. It's a boxing match, but this is a boxing match that we've got to win to stay in the title hunt, mate.
Aye, you couldn't put it any better, mate. It is literally almost a knockout if you think about it, just because it could either close the gap or extend the gap. Bridgeman, I'm going to ask you about centre backs, because we've seen over the past few games, Giga's come back into the side and played very well. Let's be brutally honest. I thought he was probably the best player for us on Wednesday night. I think he done pretty well defensively. He's not done anything wrong to be dropped, but would you have him in your team on Sunday, or would you be back to the suit of Fernandes?
Yeah, that's a good shout, because I think he offers more than Suter. We'll get a big difficulty, both him and Fernandes got a big difficulty. They like to carry the ball into the opposition half. I don't like that at all. This is only my personal opinion again. I don't like centre halves going way inside the the opposition half, because invariably when they pass the ball to a forward, another forward, or a midfielder, and the midfielder loses the ball, or it's been a bad pass, and it goes straight to them. And all these teams are faster than us. They run faster all the time, and some of them are speed merchants, and they just leather the ball up the park, and away they go. And how many times have we been caught out where our goalkeeper's made a marvellous save to save us, or Suter, and credit to him, and managed to get back and cut a cross ball out. These things, when we can't do it all the time, we can't keep doing it. So I would rather have two centre halves that play for us, and they play across the line if necessary, but don't wander into the opposition half too much, because we're going to get caught. They do get caught, and you know it. Everybody sees it. You're going to get caught. There you go. And you've got people against you like that Boyd at Hibs, and that couple of players with Motherwell. They were red hot, absolutely red hot, and they're flying. And we've no got MD back there. They should be back there, the centre half. It's just waiting to head that ball back away out the park. For some reason or other, our centre halves are end up stuck up the park. We can't afford that. And so, we've not got pace. We've not got the pace in our defence that we should have. We should have pace in defence, because if the centre halves go up, we should bring a wee guy back to be pacey. And if the ball goes up there, let him go back and put it back to the keeper. Something like that, but that we can't afford the centre half. So I would rather have Giga. Is that his name? DJ or something like that?
Yep.
And Fernandes at the back. That's what I would rather have.
AK, where do you think our strengths are to Hearts' weaknesses? Is it the wings? Is it the midfield? Where's the key battle going to be?
Good question, Rob. You must have been up all night thinking that.
I knew you were on, mate, so I thought I'd put you on the spot.
I think the fact that they're no full strength, I think we've got to take advantage of it. The last game at Tynecastle, I don't like his style of play, but I got to give him credit for the digging in. We Devlin, I thought, controlled a lot of the midfield. You win that midfield, I've heard Billy say before, and he's right, you win that engine room, you've got a better chance of getting on to win the game. I think we match fire with fire. I think we've got that with Chukwani, Raskin. I think Moore's got a wee niggly side to him, you know, and you're hoping that other ones show that as well. You win that midfield battle, and then you let our forwards do the damage. I think Nadiri, I think Scov Olsen, I think Ant-Man, Romans. I think that's where our strengths lie. If we can get the ball out to the wing and fire it in as early as possible and get numbers in the box, that's another one. Chukwani, I think, releases Raskin to allow him and Moore to go up and join the attack. That's where we can punish them. Set pieces, that's why I put Fernandez in there. I think he's been excellent for set pieces. Raskin has proved to be a good set piece man, in Nadiri, I think he makes some intelligent near post runs. I thought him and Miovski played particularly well, but for me to start with anyway, I'd be going with him and looking for Ant-Man, Moore, Scov Olsen to join in with him as much as possible. But the biggest, what did you say, the opportunity or I would say the crowd has got a massive role to play in it as well. That crowd, for the first minute to the last minute, needs to drive the team on and believe in the team. Cut out the booing, get behind them, singing for the first minute to the last.
I did see today, mate, there was another rally call from the fan advisory board, the Union Bears, the Rangers Collective, etc. That full voice, full noise, full 90 yet again, because you say the crowd does play an important part, not just to cheer us on, but put pressure on Hearts as well, make it a cauldron of noise. But you mentioned set pieces, mate. Only Hearts have got more goals this season from set pieces than us. Could that be a key aspect, Bridge, on Sunday? The set pieces, both attacking and defensive.
Well, yeah, but we need to smarten up and change them because you know, we haven't scored from a free kick for a wee while. A beautiful free kick from oh God Almighty, Asgard. My goodness, what a lovely free kick he had. Scored a cracking goal. So yeah, we want good free kicks and corner kicks. That's what we're looking for, because that could be we've a really tall centre halves and a big centre forward now. So there's good targets in there. If we could only just cross the ball, it'd be wonderful, and just get it in right. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, we want more from set pieces, but we want somebody can score. The boy Diamondi, I must admit, I don't know when the last time he scored, particularly for a free kick or in that position, that type of position. I don't know if he scored like that for since the last season. My goodness gracious, we're desperate to see our midfielders scoring goals. It's going to be good if we can get them to do it. It'll be great.
AK, your thoughts on the set pieces, both attacking and defensive, given the fact it's the two strongest teams from set pieces that they've capitalised goals from?
Aye, listen, I think both teams are a threat, and it's apparent their numbers tell you that, particularly Hearts. As I said before, the big boy Stuart Finlay's came for Kilmarnock and been a threat in the opposition box. You know, Derek McInnes worked with him at Kilmarnock, so he knows what he's capable of. There was a game last night in England, actually, where Brentford and Arsenal were both the set-piece kings in the APL, and that was apparent. So there is a threat there, but wherever you can get a goal. But I believe we've been enjoying our call there, Rob.
Indeed we have, mate. Sure, Billy. Evening, Billy.
Evening, lads. All right.
How you doing?
No bad, no bad.
Aye.
What's
All
on your
right,
mind tonight, mate?
Oh, I just thought I'd jump on to give my team selection for a wee inkling into how I think I would set up, and I've also got the way I think the manager will set up. So
fire away, mate.
What one do you want first? Do you want the manager's team, I think, with the way he'll think he'll start, or do you want my team?
Floor's yours, mate. Give us in both and we'll guess who's who.
Right. First one's a 4-3-3, right?
That's
Butland.
yours.
4-3-3, Butland, Tavernier, Suter, Diagea, Romans. 3 in the midfield, Raskin, Diamonde, Chukwueze, and 3 up top, Moore, Olsen and Chermiti. Right? Whose team do you think that is?
Well, I thought it was yours when you said 4-3-3, but you're missing Chermiti, so I think that's the way you think the manager will do it. AK?
I was going to say that, I know, Billy. When you mentioned Chermiti, it was like that horse you gave us last week. He was well putting him down.
Oh, hey, listen. Oh, no, didn't go there, mate. That hurt my pocket last week, eh? Didn't like to go in, near did my pocket. But anyway, no, that's the way I think the manager will go. I think he'll play that way. I'll go ahead and I'll give you my team if you want. It's a 4-4-1-1 or a 4-5-1, right? Butland in goals. Sterling at right back. Shooter and Fernandez at the heart of the defence. Romans at left back. Chukwueze and Raskin in the middle of the park. Olsen wide right. Ant-Man wide left. Moore just sitting off between the 4 and the front man, and Nadiri up top. That's the team I would play.
Have you seen AK's paper working it again?
No, is that the team he said?
AK, is it the same?
The exact team, Billy. The exact team.
Oh, dear.
I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Hopefully it's a good thing. How would you set them
I've
up?
never heard the MD copy an AK.
You're right.
How would you set them up, AK?
4-2-3-1 or the 4-5-1, just as you're saying, Billy. But hopefully, release Moore. I think Moore has to be like the number 8. I think he's going to be central. And just as you say, I would have Ant-Man out wide left, and then he cuts in with his right, and Scott Olsen's the kind of same. But I think very much similar to yourself, mate. I think that's your strongest team.
My way of thinking with the 4-4-1-1 is, right, you've got the 2 ball winners in the middle of the park, Raskin and Chukwueze or Chuck, right, in the middle of the park, right, and you've also got Olsen and Ant-Man wide left and wide right who can get at their fullbacks, right, and you can bring Mikey Moore into the equation. I would give him a free role in there, just in that wee pocket, in that wee hole, just between the midfield and the striker. And I would tell Big Nadiri just to stay up there and occupy the 2 centre halves. Then if we're struggling a wee bit, because obviously Hearts they'll get their period in the game, then what we can do is you can drop Moore into the middle of the park, right, and shove Raskin and Chukwueze, split them, and put Moore in right in the middle of the park. As a 5 right across the flank, so you're nullifying their width with a 3, eh? So you've got plenty of width in the park, and when they were doing that with Ant-Man and Olsen, one in the main stone and one in the govern stone, that wide to stretch the life out of them. And then when we get the ball, we break quick, shut that space down, and we can go and the 2 wide players can go and join in, which basically instead of a 2 or a 1-1, it becomes a 4, eh? That's the way I would play that. Because, what do you call them? Hearts play the 4-2-3-1 and all, don't they? I know the best formation against the 4-2-3-1 is a 4-3-3 anyway, but I would take a go with that 4-4-1-1 or a 4-4-2 against them. Definitely.
It'll be interesting to see, mate, how he sets it up. I think he'll learn a lot from Wednesday night, as we think there's been some influence in the decision on Wednesday night. He's alluded to that in his press conference, both after the game and again today as well. But, Bridge, you said somebody copying AK. People copy Southside every week, even in Southside.
Evening, Robert.
What they copy? It's a Super 6.
There's a legend on the right again, the Bridgeman. AK, how you doing, Billy boy? How are you, pal?
All right, mate. I've got my pen here ready, bro.
I'll get my crayons.
I'm going to teams.
That's good. Anyway, you were slagging me last week about Cardiff. Yeah, I was going to say something about it. No, say that's a family show. I seen your comment, Robert, and it certainly changed in 5 minutes, did it not?
It did make me change that Coventry one.
Nah, no, they were poor, weren't they? I know.
Before you get the winners this week, mate, Wednesday night for you. What's your thoughts, pal?
I thought we get battered all over the park, to be honest, with Motherwell. I thought they were on tappies. I thought it was pretty poor that a Rangers team can't get there and string 5, 6, 7 passes together on that surface. Motherwell seemed to be able to do it, and for some reason we struggled badly. Magoma looked like he get bullied down the right quite a bit, playing left back. And I just thought we were second to a lot of balls. Don't get me wrong, Motherwell put a lot of effort into the game. They were in topies. They were at home. They were relentless in the physicality and shutting us down. But we should be better than that, and we should be able to play around about it. And we never. So I thought our passing throughout the whole team, midfield a lot, was really, really bad. Apart from the goal that we score, apart from that, we were really poor at all over the park, to be honest, in certain aspects. To Motherwell, I thought we'd have seen it out. I think the 3 subs at the end cost us. I know some players were tiring and some could have been off quicker than others. But when you're getting to the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game, I think you should have still left it and seen the game out. But he didn't. He chose to make the substitutions, and I think that cost us. So, listen, it's a sore one to take on Wednesday night. Motherwell were better than I actually thought they would be, to be honest, or we let them be as good as what they were on the night. I've not seen a lot of Motherwell, but if you're a Motherwell fan, you probably thought you deserved something out of the game. Thought the referee was atrocious from start to finish. McLean. Thought it was really poor. Everybody in the stadium knew that was a red card. Everybody seen it was a red card, the tackle, and yet he chose to get a yellow. You've seen the way he refereed the game. I think Motherwell were lucky to finish the game with 10 men, because he could easily finish the game with less than that. I think he let a lot of tackles go, and I think he wasn't really. He was shocking in Wednesday. I thought really, really poor. So apart from that, it was 2 points drop, because when you get to the last couple of minutes of the game, we should have seen it out, and we never. But listen, the damage is done slightly, but you can rectify that on Sunday. And I know the fans advisory board have put a statement out tonight saying it's time with the UB and everybody else, it's Fad and everybody else, and saying time to get behind the team on Sunday and let's roll the team to victory for 90 minutes on Sunday at Ibrox. I think that was a good statement to come out with, because certain parts of the ground aren't singing, and I think it's time we all need to get behind the team no matter where you sit in that stadium and roll them to victory on Sunday. It was a sore one to take on Wednesday night coming out of the stadium, but Motherwell probably looked, they were fired up. They played a decent game, but I just think the 3 subs at the end, Robert, was our undoing. And that was just what it was.
That was my frustration, mate. At the game on Wednesday night, I was on with Ox speaking about it, and for me, it was the substitutions at the times they were done as well. I said it earlier in the show, mate, that we've seen Danny Rule be flexible and adapt a game when he can see things aren't working. We're starting to come under pressure, and he seemed a bit hesitant to do changes, particularly after the red card. It was almost a good 10 minutes before the subs came on. Whether you want to bring subs on at the end of the game to see the game out, I thought the subs could have been done as soon as the red card happened, because that's a good 15, 20 minutes before the game actually finishes, where you can go and see it out or get the second goal, use the man advantage. But that was my frustration. Before I ask you about Sunday, pal, what was your thoughts on the Chermiti incident? I know it was the other end of the park from yourself, obviously at the game, but seeing it back and things like that as well, or even at the game, do you think there was a claim for a penalty there?
It's hard to see, Robert, because we were up the other end. It was hard to see then. Got a couple of texts in, people were saying it was a stonewall penalty. So, seeing it back, I think it's a penalty. It doesn't matter how you look at it. He's getting blocked half at the front and the boy does him in the back of the leg. But at the time, it was hard to see, to be honest, Robert, no, because we were up the other end. He missed a sitter. He should have buried that chance he had when the boy headed the ball back to the goalkeeper. Okay, you could say he's hit it straight and the goalie's made a decent save, but he tries to hit the rebound, it gets blocked, but he should be finishing it for there. Any low and hard on any side of the room about the goalkeeper would have been probably a goal. But at the time I was unsure, but a few texts came in for boys running about us and stuff, and they were saying that was a stonewall penalty. But Steve McLean's the ref in it, he's not going to give you a penalty, is he? He couldn't even give you a red card to start with, you know. So, but looking back, aye, it was probably a penalty for us, but listen, we should be better than that, Robert, you know. I just think if you were going to make subs, you could remember made them a bit earlier. Gas Mara should have been off. His application and attitude on Wednesday was stinking again, and he could have been off at half time. I know Danny Rose worked to him in the past and he gets out eventually, but for me I would have took him off at half time. Obviously with Diamandi and Raskin booked, they're walking a wee tightrope, and McLean's the referee, so you know he's capable of anything. And it was inevitable that they two were going to come off at some point in the game rather than stay on, and then you were looking at the subs thinking, well, it's going to have to be, if it's no Bizrami it comes on, then it's going to be Asgard, and he has to go out there and work and run and do the leg work, which you know he's not been doing for a while. He's not that type of player. But listen, we are where we are. We need to just make sure on Sunday that we beat Hearts, and he picks the right team that's good enough on the day. And I know he alluded to it, that sports a bit of sports science. That wasn't exactly the team he wanted to pick, but it's a team that he ended up picking. So listen, I'll say he made a mistake. Listen, and all managers are allowed to make the odd mistake. There's been an outcry, and I've heard some of the nonsense that people have spoken, written and said. But listen, we're still in this fight, well still in it, and we're capable of beating Hearts, and we've not done it in 2 occasions, but it's time to be third time lucky at the weekend and do them, and then get the 3 points back, and then we'll see what we do in the next game. But there'll be a couple of twists and turns, but we probably can't afford to drop any more points, to be honest. And we know what's at stake, and it's down to the players. The players didn't defend properly. Motherwell were stronger in tackles and getting in and winning 50-50 challenges. That's no Danny Roll's fault. That's the players that's out in the park that aren't winning the challenges. But we dropped 2 points, but we got a point at the end. It was just a bit sore that you lose a goal with right at the death, you know.
Aye, of course, mate, of course. Before we beat Hearts on Sunday, mate, we've got to beat the bookies on Saturday. So let's hear your Super 6 for this weekend.
Welcome to Southside Super 6, and get ready for your weekend's fix. He finds it hard to get them right, 'cause most of the time they are shy.
Hi, welcome to Southside Super 6 for February the 14th. First selection this weekend is MK Dons to beat Newport County. The second selection is Cambridge United to beat Bristol Rovers. The third selection is Hibs to beat St Mirren. The fourth selection is Cardiff to beat Luton. The fifth selection is Norwich to beat West Brom. And the sixth selection is Southampton to beat Leicester. If you take all 6, it pays 24.5 to win.
Well, you have just heard this week's picks are run out and bet like dicks. The sane amongst you will give it a miss, 'cause for years he has just been taking the piss.
Maybe this week. I'll let you away with Cardiff. Cambridge done me last week, so I'm not holding out hope for them, mate.
Sticking with Cardiff. Somebody's went Cardiff again, better believe it. Top of the league, and it's time they keep winning. They won last week, I know, so away from home. So they're at home this week. And it's Valentine's Day, so I suppose it'll get you a gift for your missus or your girlfriend or whatever. So if there's any Celtic supporters listening, they'll get a gift for their sister. But apart from that, aye, we'll give it a go this week. 24.5-1.
Good luck, mate. Good luck. AK, Southside said there, third time lucky against Hearts. 2 fixtures we've lost, and let's be honest, there's been the involvement of refereeing element to it. Some decisions haven't went our way. I know at Tynecastle we didn't play well enough, but still there was incidents in that were done by the referee that cost us. Don Robertson's the referee on Sunday. Don't want to be speaking about officials. We've got to go and play the game and win the game, but we can't give these officials any minute to try and dictate the game, can we?
No, you're right. They've had an influence on the games. I mean, certainly the first game at Ibrox against the Hearts, that was in the midst when the support were up in arms with our manager Russell Martin at the time. I was at the game that day, and the atmosphere in Ibrox that day was toxic. It really was. A lot of the support round about me, season ticket holders, they were just there to give Russell Martin abuse really, and then watch what was going on in the game. And that was the day Shankland handball should have been disallowed with VAR. We got a goal disallowed, and then they gave a penalty for nothing. You know, so that was a game that we should actually win the game, but everybody was more concerned about giving abuse to Russell Martin and what actually happened in the game. Tynecastle, Hearts deserved their win, although we could have went in front again, which was proved to be a VAR decision. Another chopped off goal. I believe that's 18 we've had this season alone. You know, and then we're debating where we should have got another penalty at the first part, which got denied. So the less you see the officials, or the less they allow them to influence the game, the better for us. Just go out there, play your stuff, play the way we can play, take the game to Hearts, get a victory, and then send everybody home happy.
Here, mate. As I said, Don Robertson's the referee and Kevin Clancy on VAR. Anyway, we've been joined by Bob here. Evening, Bob here.
Hello, Rob. How you doing, son?
I'm good, mate.
Hi,
Yourself?
everybody. All right.
Evening, Bob.
Well, I've just been gathering my thoughts the last couple of days since Wednesday. Now I know a good performance. We're all got our hands up and say the team didn't play well. The manager made a mistake with the lineup. But I can't believe the pelters the man's taking off this media. And I'll influence his all if I can. Didn't listen to them. He's probably didn't anyway. Radio Clyde, the press, and all these people. Didn't listen to them. Danny Rowe has picked his club up to the bones of the you-know-what. He took it into an absolute league challenging position. He's done absolutely great for us. He made a mistake the other night, and I think the boys, he's put his hands up, but more or less admitted it. But we'll go on for this because they'll all drop points, no just Rangers. It all seems to be a big sensation of the whole Rangers have brought 2 points against a decent Motherwell team, be it said. But, aye, we'll go out here on Sunday, do our best, get the victory. We are at home, we'll hear the big support behind us, get the victory, and as the Southside says, we'll go home happy. Well, let's hope so, because we're well in this. Everybody's trying to count us out, no chance. We're well in this league race. So go for it on Sunday, Rangers. I have spoken. There you go.
On yourself, Bob Chair.
You hear me?
Hi, Bridge.
Bob Chair's right. Danny Rose obviously come under a lot of questions, let's say, since Wednesday night over team selection and substitutions. But the players have got to carry the can as well, mate. As Southside said, it's them that crossed that white line. Have the players got away scot-free since Wednesday night and Danny Rose get the stick?
Well, that's how it works in football, isn't it? You know, you look at all managers that get, come and go at any football team. You know, the players didn't perform on the park. Ultimately, they're the one that carries the can, and they're the one that takes the slack. They're the one that takes abuse, and then final nail in the coffin is they get sacked. You know, that's the way it is. But some of the stupid, what they call reporters, etc., the way they're piling the pressure. That's what they do. Listen, let's not forget that. Let's not take our eye off the bigger picture here. That's what these clowns do. They try and steer it up and steer it up and steer it up just to ruffle the feathers. The Rangers just try to try not unsettle us constantly. That's what they do. You know, they try and ask the manager questions and try to send him down roads that he doesn't want to go. You know, did he make mistakes? Of course he did. He's a human being, you know, but we've got to be realistic, and we've got to understand where we've came from under this guy. You know, that's what people seem to forget here, and especially the press. I mean, they're masters at it, but listen, that's a Italian propaganda roadshow, isn't it? That's how they work. But listen, I think the majority of the outcry was, as I said the other night, there was frustration, and where we could have been. We should have been really getting into this game. I'm sure Southside will agree. We should really be getting into this game. Winning Sunday, we're top of the league. Now we've got to win. We've got to win them all, in my opinion. If the players really want to win this league, we've got to win every single game to the end of the season. That's what, 12 games or something. We've got to go on a 12-game run and win them all, and we're champions. That's the way it is. But I said, I think that's where the majority of frustration came from within the support, was we should have been winning that game and seen that game out, and then going into this game and knocking them off their perch. But listen, I think Rangers will win on Sunday, and I think we'll win comfortably. I really do. The bookies are giving you a wee sneaky chance, even money at Rangers. I mean, I can't remember the last time Rangers were even money at home against anybody. You know, maybe you got better odds than that when we're playing Celtic, when 2 or 3 years ago or something like that. But against Hearts, I've never seen Rangers even money against Hearts at Ibrox. And all the years I've gambled, and all the years I've watched the Rangers. So I'm going to hear a go at that, I'll tell you. Even money, you better believe it.
Aye, quite right, mate. Quite right. Stick it in with the Super 6, mate, and you might even get more for your money. Then
No,
again,
that's double. You'll get 48 to 1. You'll get.
You never know, mate. You might even get some more, unless he's picked a bad team again this week. But we'll see. AK, come to yourself, mate. The media is obviously a big influence. We know what it is, social media out there. The reporters, but sometimes it's still our own reporters. You heard it today in the press conference. Danny Rowe was asked a question about the negative feeling, and he shut it down quite quickly by saying, let's look at the feeling and the emotions after beating Celtic at Parkhead, going away to Pittodrie, a tricky fixture, tricky conditions, and an 8-game win run. There's no time for negative energy from the manager, so why should the supporters have it?
Aye, exactly. I mean, that's, I believe, young Joshua Barry for Rangers Review that asked that question. A wee bit kind of naughty him, but Danny Rowe was clever enough to shut him down and deflect away from it and lean on the positives, rather than look at the negatives. And that's what he's got today. He's got to instill belief and keep belief with the team, with the players, and with the support. There are bumps in the road. You're going to get them, but when you look at his record, you break down his record, I still don't understand why the questions all the time, how he sets a team up, his recruitment, why is he doing this, why is he... 13 wins for 18 games, 4 draws, 1 loss, and plus 25 in goal aggregate. That's quite remarkable, a turnaround for a set of players that were on the floor for conference. The support were on their back, and we're booing them off at half time a couple of weeks ago while we were winning. I think that the support really need a reset in the mindset. Leave your negativity outside and get behind the team. Bring the noise to Ibrox and drive them on. There's a lot of young players out there. We've got a young manager. There's hardly any of them had their experience of winning a title. So putting pressure on their own team isn't going to help. Get behind them and affect the opposition team. But it's entirely up to the players. Once they cross that white line, it's entirely down to them. They've got to show more balls out in the park as well. They're not getting off scot-free. Danny Rowe's not getting off scot-free. But collectively, we've got a better chance of winning these games when we're separated. Division is no good to see us over the line. We've got 12 games to go. Let's go for it.
Bridgeman, I'm not sitting here calling out any supporter, right? I'm not doing that, but are some support, a very select few, a minority, I'll say, are they being a wee bit naive in looking at the last game rather than how we got here in the first place to even be in a title race? Are they maybe not looking at that and thinking the job is done, great, well, we didn't even think it was possible? Are they too naive just to look back at the one single game?
I wouldn't call Rangers fans naive, right? I wouldn't call any of them naive. However, it's disappointing to think that they're scared, right? That's the truth. They're scared because once again, their fear is that once again we're not going to do anything in this league when we've had massive chances, and they'll thrash out at whomever they think that who's going to be the next target. Obviously, it's the managers, and it must do that. I would suspect that there's a number of players who could blame before the manager, but then the manager picks them. So it goes round and round. But I do think that the Rangers fans need to wake up. From this moment on, or from when the final whistle went on Wednesday, Rangers have to win every single game now, from now to the end of the season, to convince themselves and the rest of the country that they are championship material. We weren't that championship material at some parts in that game on Wednesday. That team, Motherwell, played us off the park at times, and we only played them off the park a couple of minutes during the game. We got a good goal, missed a few, but we really need to buck ourselves up. We really do. Hopefully the fans will see the way the team play at Ibrox this week. This is their first chance at Ibrox to show, since the cup game against Queen's Park, to show that we could score more than one goal. We're not going to go and score one goal, sit back. That shouldn't be what we're doing. That's not a philosophy at all. Yeah, okay, sometimes they're tight games, and you're glad you held on, and we'll take that because that's a good philosophy at that point in time. But knowing you're playing teams that you're actually better than, and all you're doing is giving in your skills and the chances that you can make, you're giving them up in order to defend en masse, and we don't do that very well at times, you know. So for me, I hope the fans get behind the team because we desperately need them. We need Ibrox to be absolutely pounding, and let's get in there. And if we can get fans that can, shall we say, cause a bit of fear to the opposition fans, the opposition team, then all the better. But make no mistake, Hearts are no fools. They've been here before. They've been at Ibrox before and beat us, and this season, and they know what they're doing. They're a very, very competent team. I don't like their manager, may I say, and I hope we don't thank them because I just don't like that manager. However, we're no stupid. We're the Rangers. We've got a lot of history, and we need to bring that to the front. We need to get the best team on the park and let the play go and let it flow, and let's see what the Rangers are made of. That's what we're looking for come Sunday. Get it in there, Rangers. Come on, get it done.
You hear me? Bob G, are you expecting some changes from Wednesday night for Sunday?
Absolutely. I was surprised at the team just like everybody else on Wednesday night, but I am expecting changes for Sunday. And I'm expecting Rangers to come flying out the traps. As my old pal Bridgeman says earlier, he says we need a Rangers performance, coming forward in droves, making chances. That's what we need. We've not been doing that a lot lately, making chances. But we'll have to step up to the mark now. The finishing line's in sight. I wouldn't say we need to win every game because I believe that those and such as those beside us, they'll drop points as well because they're no great either. You can't keep scoring goals in the 94th minute to win games. So they'll drop points and all. But at the end of the day, do your best to win the games. Of course you do. I want Rangers to win every game. But Sunday, that's a big game. One of the biggest games of the season. That's your statement, Bridge. Maybe the biggest game of the season. And they come out of the traps, Rangers, get chances made, play this lot off the park, because they are slightly depleted. They're missing 2 or 3 players, I believe, through injuries and suspension. And they're not the force that they once were. But come on, Jers, get the win and make the statement. That's all we're asking.
Do you hear me? Southside, it's obviously going to be a big game, a big day. It's also the Armed Forces Day as well. We'll see the armed personnel on the park as well, which the club always do fantastically well. And I believe Castor, through the Poppy shirts, have donated £17,000 as well. So well done to them as well for donating that money. But it's going to be a good atmosphere, Southside, and as you say, the fans be roaring, cheering the team on. If it's not going well, let's just give them the boost, give them the confidence to go at them.
Aye, it's always good to Armed Forces Day at Ibrox. They sort of took away what it used to be like. Usual people moaning and groaning about the soldiers and that. With some of them when they were joining in with the UB to get photos took and that, and it was always a good atmosphere, but there was a lot of complaints getting put in as normal for the other side and other people. But aye, it's always a good day, and I think it's the top that they brought out looked quite smart as well, to be honest. Aye, it's always something to look forward to. It should be, hopefully it'll whip up a good atmosphere as well. I agree with what AK was saying, some of the other podcasts out there, a bit of negativity and all that. You've got to remember, some of them they all want you to pay into it and pay subscription fees. They want to be controversial, they want to say things so they get the hits, so it gives them more money. And some of them are run by newspapers, and they also fund the other side to the city. And I think Kilmarnock as well get one done by a newspaper group. So to me, they've got an ulterior motive to be controversial. We think on this show we all speak for the heart as a supporter. We're not interested in the many hits we get or who says what. We give an honest opinion. We don't get paid for doing it on here. We do it all for free. But other outlets out there, when I listen to the odd one now and again, which I don't listen to very often, I just sometimes think they want to be controversial, and some of them want to remember themselves when in our press room talking to our manager, and the way they conduct themselves and the way they speak to him, and try to get them maybe to say things that they should know better. But this is all just to suit getting the hits so they get extra money and people go and like their things. But that's up to them, and that's how they run their things. That's up to them. It's up to people who's got a choice whether they want to subscribe or no. It's like anything in life. But aye, on that, I just hope that the Ibrox is roaring on Sunday. It's a 4:30 kick-off. Gives you a wee time to get a refreshment if you fancy it before you get along to the game and all. Always helps now and again, I think, if you get a wee refreshment in you, then go along to Ibrox. And as long as the players go out there, go out and attack and maybe get a goal or two early, I'm sure that will take the rest of the support in the stands round about us. I'll be up and everybody will be up cheering. And I agree there's maybe a wee bit of fear factor for some people, and they get a bit upset because we've dropped a point here or there. We've dropped 4 points. We had a poor performance against Hibs when we should have done better, and then we dropped another 2 points to Motherwell. But this squad isn't good enough and hasn't been good enough since the start of the season, and strong enough maybe to go a full league campaign. And Danny Rose managed to turn these squad of players into the position we're at. We've been gave a chance by other teams dropping points, of course we have, but we're in there and we're in there fighting. And we always hear people coming on shouting no surrender and all that and everything else that they say. We are the people and everything, and we love this club. So hopefully on Sunday everybody gets behind the team from start to finish. We've had great Thursday nights at Ibrox under the lights, and everybody contributed round about and gave it their all. So hopefully on Sunday at 4:30 till the game finishes, everybody in the stands, and myself included, will begin at their all and cheer this team to victory.
Here, mate. Here. I've just got a message through AK. I believe you're abseiling from the Sandy Jardine stand. Is that true?
Aye, without a rope. There's a few people waiting to kick me. Listen, no, but I was wanting to put to the panel there, I had a wee look at the fixtures between Rangers, Hearts, Celtic and Motherwell, the run-in. After this game on Sunday, Hearts have got Falkirk at home, Aberdeen at home, Kilmarnock away and Dundee at home. Right now, I would expect Hearts to be picking up at least 9 to 12 points out of the next 4 games, so it just puts more impetus on our game for Sunday, because we've got Livingston away, double header with Celtic, St Mirren away and then Aberdeen at home. Celtic have got 6 out of the next 9 games away from home, I think they'll come unstuck and drop points there, and Motherwell have still got obviously everybody to go. So it's going to be interesting, but it just puts more, scrutiny on this game for us to win on Sunday, because if we don't, it's going to be very, very difficult.
Aye.
Can I come in here?
And you come, Bob.
Well, we're at a point now where it's approaching the end. We're mid-February. Valentine's Day tomorrow. That's what I got to say back, putting up all the Valentines. Usually at this time of year, we have been in recent seasons here, 13, 12, 11, 12, 13 points behind that lot. The league's done and dusted. It's over. It's gone. No, this time it's not. There's an absolute chance for us, and we only realise the great chance that we've got to winning it. But organisation, but a steel, but a guile, we'll get there. I'm convinced we will. We can do this. I hope Mr. Roll can convince them all. We can do it. There's no better team out there than what we are. I don't believe Hearts are better. I don't believe Celtic are better. I don't believe Motherwell are better, or Hibs or any of these people. We've got as good a chance as anybody in winning this league, and I firmly believe that. And I want the support to make a hell of a noise on Sunday and get behind them. And by the way, any of these people that criticise our armed forces, they've not been in parts of the world these guys and lasses have been in. So I just wish they would just show up a bit and just let us get on with what we do. So there you go.
Correct, mate. Correct. Some say the days we have now wouldn't be like what it is if it wasn't for them. So we've got to remember what they've done for us, and we always do, mate.
Well, my grandfather,
Aye, listen, there's many supporters there that will be there to remember loved ones that have served and done their time and maybe no longer with us, and we obviously remember them at that time as well. So that's a great spectacle the club put on. Billy, I just want to touch on one thing as well, mate. Just before we start to wrap up the show, pal. We know we've not seen a 90-minute dominant performance from Rangers for quite some time. We know we always look for a fast start. Should we expect a fast start on Sunday, or is it how we finish the game?
Both, mate. Come out, pummel Hearts for 90 minutes. That's the way I see it. Go out and pummel them. Didn't give them an inch, and all the park. Don't give them nothing. Just go out there, leave everything out in the park. I mean, they've wobbled a bit, and they've had players sent off, and they've lost their discipline in games and that. And we owe them one. We owe them one, and what a better place than Ibrox on Sunday, mate, to go and get that victory. And I heard AK talking about the games there. I can't see them going down to Kilmarnock, mate, and winning down there. I think that Kilmarnock will take points off them down there one way or another. But listen, Hearts have no lost more than 3 goals, believe it or not, for Motherwell last year in August. That's the last time that they lost 3 goals in August. Was August last year against Motherwell when they drew 3 each. So they've been watertight, but they're not unbeatable. They're not unbeatable. It's 11 men against 11 men, and who wants it most? That's the way it is on Sunday. And just to touch on the Armed Forces Day, if I may, for an ex-jock myself, one of my best pals was a Celtic supporter, right? And we used to come home for training together, and unfortunately passed away a number of years ago. So when I go to remember my mates, I go and remember my mates who served our country, and it didn't matter what religion they were, right? So see all the idiots out there, because that's what they are, idiots out there that want to flag Rangers, Glasgow Rangers Football Club and our supporters for our military, right? It's not just our military, right? There's Celtic supporters there that served and all, right? In their military, and our military, right? And they boys can't walk round that shower. I'm trying to pick and choose my words correctly here. They can't get around that stadium with a poppy tin, right? On Remembrance Sunday, or round about that time of the year. They can't do it, right? That just shows you what they're all about. They don't remember anybody. They're the biggest shower of hypocritical
Yes, I know.
that I've ever knew in my life. So, God bless every single serviceman, be it Protestant, Catholic, Rangers, Celtic, Hibs, Hearts, whatever team they support. They're out there fighting for our country and look, keeping us all safe. And if they don't agree with it, well, tough. That's up to them.
Well said, Billy. Well said.
Well said. Well said, brother. I'm applauding you here. Well done.
Bob J, a final word from yourself, mate. Great to
Aye,
have you on
thanks
again,
for
mate. Always
having-
appreciated.
Yeah, thanks for having me on tonight. Great, brilliant. I'm disappointed that my old pal Bruce didn't laugh at the Valentine care joke, but you can't have it all your head, like you. I've got to say it back. I've got to say it back, thinking of Valentine care.
He was too busy writing the card for you.
The only Valentine I get called has got final demand at the top of it. Right, okay, lads. Good luck on Sunday, the Rangers.
Cheers,
the
Bob,
Rangers need us. Let's go for it. Good night, boys.
Good night, mate. Take care.
Cheers, Bob.
Billy.
Thanks very much for taking my call, lads. Looking forward to the game on Sunday now. Oops, what happened there? Looking forward to the game on Sunday and our Rangers victory. And let's get back into this title race. For me, I'm going 2-0 to the Rangers. That's my prediction for Sunday, lads. So one of the Rangers, and keep the faith. Keep the faith, lads, and we are a people.
Cheers, Billy. Always appreciate your call, mate. Take care.
No bother, mate. All the best.
Aye, thanks for having us on tonight, Robert. It's good to be on with EK and the Bridgeman as always. Looking forward to Sunday. It's all about Sunday and it's all about the Rangers, and we're at home and we've got to make sure that we get the 3 points in the victory. And I'm sure the support will get behind the players, but the players have to go out there and start and give something to cheer along as well and get stuck right into Hearts. They're not in a great battle for them and I think they're there for the taking. We owe them one. They've done this twice already this season, and it's not often I can say that in a season that Hearts do that to us, and there can't be a third time lucky. So it's down to us on Sunday to show the initiative, Robert, and get out there and batter them into submission and get the 3 points. Just thank everybody in the YouTube page that I see contributed tonight and all to the show. They're always in there, all the regulars are on and they listen to the show all the time and support the show while it's on. So I'd like to thank all them in the YouTube feed. Thanks for having us on, mate. Look forward to Sunday. Let's be loud and proud, Rangers. As I say, if they play in the streets, we'll support them for the pavements. So let's roll them for the stands on Sunday and let's get a victory. As always, there's only one team and one crown.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. Icky.
Great show tonight, Rob. Really enjoyed that. Yourself and the legend, Bridgeman. Great callers in there too. Billy, Bob J, Josh, etc. And the housewife's favourite, of course. Looking forward to picking up some dough this week for the Southside Super 6. And looking forward to cheering on a Rangers victory on Sunday. 12 matches to go, mate. 12 rounds of boxing. Let's come out swinging and win the first round. Tick them off as we go along. Come on, the Rangers.
Here, mate. Cheers for joining us again. Always appreciate your contribution, pal. Mr. Bridgeman, final words from yourself, mate.
Thanks, Robert. Brilliant show, tremendous show. Great phoners, people phoning in, and of course Southside jumping in, handing us out as well. Magic, just great. I like shout out to AK for palling me through this, looking after me and yourself, Robert, and the techie boys in the background. And to all the Rangers fans that are listening all over the world, Sunday night at 4 o'clock, it's 4:30. Biggest game of the season of the last 5 seasons. This is the biggest game we're going to see, and we must win. We must get out there and do our business. And all the Rangers fans, listen to what I'm saying. This is our team. Get right behind them. Don't hold back. Just get right behind them and see them through. Everybody keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers need you. And so do they.
Cheers, Bridgeman. Always a pleasure to have you on, pal. Can I just thank our callers tonight, Josh, Billy, Bob J, and Southside for joining us as well. Bridgeman and AK for doing the show with me, and of course Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals, and of course everybody out there listening on YouTube. Facebook. Thanks for joining us again tonight. No, we had some difficulties at the start, but thanks for joining us. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back on Sunday at 3:30 for a pre-match build-up to Rangers versus Hearts in a massive, massive fixture in our league. Let's go Rangers. Let's get behind the team. Let's get behind Danny Rowe, the manager of the month of January. Enjoy the rest of your night and your weekend. Take it away, Old School Blue.